And we move on to the second album from March. So it's Dead Channel Sky by Clipping. And this was selected by Phil Taylor, aka The Music Observer. As well as his own blog, Phil writes for the likes of Left Lion, Clash, and the DIY New Bulletin. And you can keep up with Phil's work by following @music_observed on Instagram. But here, I will hand over again to you, Karli, to kick us off on Dead Channel Sky. So what did you make of it?
I don't think I'm the best one to go over that. Karl, you want to go over that?
Okay, we'll swap.
I mean, I can do, yeah. Yeah, so I mean, they're one of those that, although, yeah, been around for 10 years, I'll be honest, I didn't know anything about Clipping before last month. So other than, us discussing, I think that it was a hip-hop record when it was picked by Phil. No other real context, I would say, going into this one. But yeah, I think with that, not really having any expectations going in, it ended up being one of the most thrilling first listens of an album I've had all year, for sure. It's one of those that, just immediately comes storming out the gate, reminded me of Chemical Brothers meets Jedi Mind Tricks or Army of Pharaohs, just these, big electronic beats and intricate, like, rapid fire bars flying at you from every angle. Obviously got shades of, the Prodigy in those early cuts, that kind of techno charged trio of Dominator, Change the Channel, Run It, just fantastic start to the record. It locks you in straight away. And then while the intensity and the pace of the record does drop slightly after that, it still hits you for some, like, again, just really thrilling moments all the way through. Like the speed at which Daveed Diggs raps on Dodger is just hypnotic and just mind-blowing. Like, obviously reminded me of Eminem's Rap God, but it's, just absolute. When someone's rapping at that speed, it's just hard not to, like, just be blown away by it. And then, straight after that, we get, like, the stomp of Scams, which obviously I've said to you guys how much I love that track. Just an utter earworm of a song. Tia No More rocks up on that. Just a great verse in the back end. And then probably my favourite cut on the whole thing, Keep Pushing, just got those pulverizing synths that just get, chopped up into, with these, like, gorgeous, luscious strings. And it's one of the tracks where Daveed actually, like, sings as well. And it just makes for such a, fascinating, like, juxtaposition of sounds in that song that shouldn't work together, but just somehow does. Really fantastic. Mood organ as well, great. Mirror Shades, I'm not sure if you got this, Kiley, but felt like a Confidence Man track to me.
Yeah.
Which again, something completely different to what came before. Then we get, one of the guys who was on the pod previously, A$AP Rock, coming on Welcome Home Warrior. And then we get that, frantic kind of drum and bass finale on Ask What Happened that kind of wraps everything up. So, it's one of those that just hits you with a barrage of sounds and styles from start to finish. And all I could say is thank you, Phil, for picking this one and, bringing it to my attention. Just an absolute blast. Dazzling, impressive, eclectic, just everything that, I want from a hip hop record. And this is definitely set the standard for me in 2025 for that genre. Just fantastic.
Very strong review there. So Kiley, can you match that or
my apologies. You cut out there when you said what the album was, and I was like, wait, what are we talking about?
Yes. All right.
Clipping. Talking about Clipping.
Yeah.
I think Clipping. They're part of kind of what the hip hop that I'm drawn to. That's mainstream hip hop right now. It's just for me kind of in a rut, and not all that interesting, but clipping is one of those that, they've been around for over 10 years. And I would put them in there with my favorites, Soap and Mike Eagle, Billy Woods, Danny Brown, that just have, biting themes and challenging beats. It's not just the same trap beat over and over. And I think I missed their last record, so it was great to get back in it with Dead Channel Sky here. I love all the old modem dial-up stuff that ties this record together while working it into the beats. I think the only thing that holds it back is that, like a lot of hip hop records, the interludes, I think you could cut a lot of those and the album wouldn't suffer. Like case in point, when this came along, I was so excited because Nels Cline was featured on Malleus, and for those that don't know, legendary guitarist that's been playing with Wilco for probably the last 15 years or so, and especially live when Wilco's kind of in their dad rock groove, which I use as a compliment. I love Wilco. Nels Cline is always one of the part of the show that will just shred and pull you out of that. And like even in this case, I think we could have cut it and it would have been better. So I think a little bit tighter. I would have been more into this record. But that being said, I loved it, and I'm glad that Phil picked it. It's always great to get some left field hip hop on the podcast. I appreciate it.
Yeah, quite an about turn, I think, from previous selections by Phil, and Clipping is one of these bands where I felt I kind of knew them, and then I listened and I was like, I definitely don't. I was getting them confused with kind of a more electronic based artist in the UK, which usually has some quite off-putting kind of visuals to go alongside the music. I thought it was that sort of thing, which would be even more left field, to be fair. So I was pleasantly surprised. Yeah, the modem sort of sound. If you like that, this album's for you. It's pretty much there throughout. I mean, I love that in terms of the cohesion of the album and kind of, I mean, it's kind of quite unhinged, I think, actually, and I'm not sure I fully actually get a lot of where their heads are at, particularly lyrically. And Karl, you mentioned the speed of David's rapping. I mean, I was really reminded of Andre 3000 before he picked up a flute, and was part of Outkast and rapped. That sort of speed and that kind of delivery was what I got from his rapping. So it's very enjoyable, that set to this kind of almost Resident Evil kind of AI dystopian world, which you basically inhabit when you're in this record. And I mean, I was a bit daunted by I think it's about an hour long or so, and that was one thing. But actually, when I was able to deconstruct it, it was just one where I was very happy to be in that world. It's just full of invention, full of creativity. And then let's have a look at some of the notes here. For Go, I've got sci-fi craziness. Change the Channel is almost like rap punk. Sort of robotic army, Terminator style. And there's some absolutely great lyrics on here, which are just so weird. Dominator is about this kind of weird robot consciousness. So there's that kind of robot. If you're into that kind of theme, then this will very much be for you, as well as the modem sounds. Dodger kind of seems to be referring to a robotic police state, and like I say, more Terminator style lyrics. Welcome. I mean, the last two tracks probably the standouts. The one with Aesop Rock, which
Yeah,
is
speaking of quick, right?
Sorry.
Speaking of quick.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and speaking of adding strange words into raps, because this one, it seems to be about like, and as I suppose you can get kind of a bit of a Black Mirror vibe from this as well, because it seems to be sort of embedding yourself in a video game is a lot of the kind of lyrical imagery used here, and being the hero of this video game. But that's fantastic, and then they kind of make sense on Ask What Happened the Last. But like just when you've been in a bit of a whirlpool throughout, Ask What Happened comes in, and actually they turn their attention to what's going on in the world here and now, and serving as a warning for the big tech takeover, which is very much fully in swing. So that one really sort of hit after going through it. But yeah, just dizzying, like I say, unhinged, I think, but ultimately a lot of fun, and one which I'd be happily would just carve off an hour and just, like I say, almost that video game escapism, I suppose. Not that I'm a video gamer, but I get it. So